I want you to imagine this. You're a king of a massive village driven by capitalism, and you must keep the people happy. You walk around the nicer areas in the village and notice all the prosperity and fulfillment that these people have. However, as you continue to walk through the village toward the poorer areas, you see the ugly side of capitalism. The horrors of poverty and the unfortunate living conditions that many people have to endure through. As you return from your little tour around the village, you get an idea. What if I print out a lot of money and give it to the poorer areas in town? Wouldn't that solve the issue? You begin to create thousands and thousands of emeralds when suddenly, no! Do not do that. It will ruin the economy. Wait, why? Well, that's what today's video is about. Why printing too much money is bad, explained through Minecraft. So, to explain why printing money is bad, we first have to understand that money itself has no value. For this, let's go to Minecraft's equivalent of money, which is emeralds. Now, I understand that emeralds actually do have some value outside of being money since it's a jewel, but for this analogy, let's assume that emeralds are similar to something like paper, in that they're worthless by themselves. Why is that important though? Well, let's look at something like iron. Iron has a ton of uses. It can be made into anvils, tools, armors, hoppers, and the list goes on. This means that iron has a high value to buyers. Now let's look at something like dirt. I mean, dirt just has no uses at all, with little value given to the buyers. You can't really make anything with dirt and it looks ugly and yeah, whatever. So from these two items, I'm sure we can all agree that no matter what the currency is, emeralds, dollars, euros, yen, any of those currencies, that iron will always be a higher price than dirt. That's quite interesting, isn't it? The item's value seems to be separate from the currency. No matter what the currency is, we can almost always assume that iron will be higher than dirt in value. So whatever the currency may be, every single item will adjust accordingly with demand. Now this is the key to understanding why the decision of introducing a lot of new emeralds into the economy is very bad. No matter how many emeralds get added to the economy, prices will actually just increase accordingly until the market is balanced again. As an example, let's look at a small group of villagers to see the changes throughout the market. Say we give this group of villagers 50 emeralds each. Upon receiving these emeralds, they all go to the local market to buy food and other necessities. Now the sellers in the market notice a sudden increase in demand for their products, so in turn they increase their prices to earn more profit. So you can already see that there's a price increase as a result from the given emeralds. However, that's not it. You have to remember that these sellers are people too, and now they have a lot more money to go around and spend. So they do that too, and the sellers go and buy stuff, and then those people realize that there's an increase in demand and they increase their prices too. So this becomes sort of a chain reaction of increasing demand and increasing prices. This uptick in prices is known as inflation. And although moderate inflation is actually healthy for an economy, high and sudden inflation like what printing money does will throw the entire system into chaos. Prices will soar and businesses will go into a panic because they don't know what a stable price is. These emerald prices keep changing on each item and they don't know what to do. And the worst part? The people in poverty, the people that we wanted to help in the first place, aren't even helped that much at all. Sure, they have more emeralds to spend, but since all the prices are a lot higher now due to inflation, the actual value that the emeralds can buy might actually be lower than when it started. So in the long run, it actually hurts them more than it helps them. Remember, this is only a small group of villagers that we're looking at. So imagine the massive impact that giving thousands and thousands of emeralds to a large group of villagers will do for the economy. It's a very grim fate for your kingdom. Now, one final question you might have is, if printing money is so bad, why do mints exist? Why are there buildings in every country that creates money? Well, in a healthy economy, moderate amounts of money creation is actually very necessary. However, when it becomes excessive or unnecessary, like this action taken by us here, it can actually be a huge problem for the economy. You're putting the value of the emeralds at high risk and it'll decrease very quickly. Anyways, that's all I have today. Hopefully you learned something new, and I'll see you next time. Best of luck with your studies, and bye bye.